Okay, just saw Making a Murderer Episode 1, which is actually freely available on Netflix's YouTube channel. The other 9 episodes are only on Netflix. I've seen this whole series, and it's going to be hard to watch again, but I plan on showing you the entire series to review it.
First of all, I thought these things happened 150 years ago. It doesn't happen in today. This is sickening. I mean, why? Even if you don't like somebody, you don't put him in jail for nothing. I mean, this is so stupid. So this Steven is still in jail?
He's in prison now. Yeah, he's been there for about 8 years.
It shows you if somebody hates you and doesn't like you, what they can do. But I never thought the sheriff, they're not scared what's going to happen to them?
By the end of that, they were scared because they knew it was all over the news in 2003 when Steven was exonerated. So it means he wasn't just released. His whole conviction was overturned, and then they convicted... what's his name, Gregory Allen, and he was sentenced to 60 years.
But I don't understand to have the innocent guy in and have the bad guy out.
You have to keep in mind, the police already believed he was a criminal. Well, he was a criminal. He committed some crimes before.
Right.
And on top of that, they didn't like him or his entire family. And so they may have, and this is something that comes up later, the sheriffs may have actually believed that Avery did it. Even though they knew there wasn't quite the evidence, they didn't want to look at Gregory Allen, even though he had already committed sexual crimes. And Allen was he matched the description gave by Penny Bernstein. Steven Avery was short. He was 5'1". He had blue eyes, no underwear. Penny Bernstein described her attacker as 5'6" or 5'7", stocky, brown eyes, white underwear. None of it matched. And then there were 22 people who said they were with Steven throughout the day. He traveled up to Green Bay. They went to the grocery store or whatever.
And they didn't believe that stuff.
He poured concrete at another site. He was at a quarry. He helped his parents, whatever, their junkyard, their salvage yard for cars.
That day.
No, they didn't believe any of it.
So they didn't believe.
And they kept coaching Penny Bernstein to say, no, this is actually him. They never even showed him a picture. A picture of Gregory Allen.
But what they did with all this evidence? Or say he has so many alibis.
Well, they believed they were lying. They believed that Avery was the guy, and they didn't want to let anything get in the way of that. On top of that, they were prejudiced. They didn't like him. The fact that he committed crimes before, one, that throwing a cat in a fire is very nasty, so they already didn't like him. And they didn't like that he admitted to threatening the woman whose husband was in the sheriff's department, his cousin.
The cousin, yeah.
Yeah. So on top of that, they believed, they had their guy, and they didn't care. And there's more damning stuff that's going to come. I won't get into that too much right now.
Throwing cat in the fire is pretty mean. And pathetic.
But
and throwing the woman and stuff. But he paid for all this by being in jail
he
for 18
went to jail previous times.
Exactly.
No, he went to jail previous times for that stuff. And 18 years he was in there. And now they have to answer for it at the end of this episode.
Oh, this is... I want to see the rest of it. My gosh.
It's like a slow motion nightmare. Like, to watch each episode, I couldn't move.
This is scary, though. This is frightening.
This isn't even the worst part.
It shows you if somebody doesn't like you, what they can do to you, to everybody.
Not only that, never talk to police for a serious crime without a lawyer. And he's poor. He didn't have money for a good lawyer, good representation. In small towns, the cops are like this. The cops, they bring in the money. They know everybody. They control it. They're sort of like their own kingdom in small towns like this, in Manitowoc. And they're the sheriffs. The police, the city police, were trying to do a good job. They were trying to indicate to the sheriffs, hey, look into Gregory Allen. They didn't really know who Steven Avery was, I guess, or they were trying to do an investigation. The sheriff's department, they didn't do proper paperwork.
They just push everything away, and they did what they wanted. They wouldn't let him talk to his lawyer. They wouldn't even show that he was in jail for his lawyer to call and talk to him to get fair representation. So, it goes on from that first episode. What about the judge?
Obviously indifferent. Didn't care. One way or the other, I guess.
So what they doing now? They continue the investigation, and hopefully they get him out to some point.
There's 9 more episodes to go, 9 hours, and the nightmare is just beginning.
I saw it on the news a couple of nights ago.
When I was watching, I could barely move each episode. I watched it all in 3 days.
God.
how did you get access to all this information that
Well, it's on the
nobody else
internet.
is talking about?
Yeah.
It's on the internet.
Okay.
But 2 nights ago, it was on Fox News.
It's all
too.
over the news now.
okay.
Now
Right.
the lawyers who defended Steven Avery in the other trial are like getting famous. They're getting interviewed all over. The prosecutor's speaking up saying, no, this documentary's biased, all that stuff. Anyways, you got to see it. But this goes through 18, and it's interesting to see it twice. I think people should see it twice to sort of, once you know what happens, to see it all unravel and come back together and unravel again for Steven Avery and more. Not just Steven Avery. There's more that happens, more victims, more people dragged down. And it's really just a nightmare.
This is very
and
scary.
in a way, Steven Avery's not even the worst victim. There's somebody else in his family who's just basically, it's just unbelievable when you see what happens.
It's a big like O.J. Simpson, if you remember 20 years
O.J.
ago.
Simpson's
All right.
nuts.
Well, that's episode 1 of Making a Murderer. We plan on watching all
That
9.
is pathetic.
It's just beginning.
Oh boy. Well, we continue watching
Yep.
this until it's over and see what happened.
Okay.
Okay. Oh Lord, that is bad.